This is a message meant for you, straight from your angels. There's someone out there feeling something so profound right now. They need your help more than ever. This isn't just any feeling. It's a message, a request for absolute sincerity, and it's tied directly to the energy of your connection. They're starting to see this connection in ways they couldn't before, and it's creating a powerful shift within them. Right now, they're caught in a battle, heart versus mind, intuition versus logic, and they're seeking clarity. If you felt their absence, this is why. As their thoughts pull them one way and their heart pulls them another, they're searching for answers, guidance, and a sign. Could it be you? This energy is strong, transformative, and it's asking for deeper understanding of the connection of you and of themselves. Stay with me, because what's unfolding could reveal not just their truth, but yours too. Before we dive deeper, say amen to claim this powerful message. And go ahead and hit subscribe to join our infinite love and light family. Have you ever met someone who seemed to know your soul better than you know it yourself? The kind of connection that feels electric, undeniable, and a little terrifying, like looking in a mirror and seeing not just your reflection, but your true self? These connections aren't just rare, they're life-changing. And while they can feel like magic, they also have a way of stirring up emotions you didn't even know were buried. It's like the universe hands you a mirror and says, time to do some spring cleaning in that soul of yours. In this video, we're diving deep into what makes these soul-level connections so intense, so transformative, and let's be honest, so messy sometimes. But don't worry, we're not just here to admire the fireworks. We're going to explore how these connections can help both people grow, heal, and become the highest versions of themselves. By the end, you'll understand the emotional and spiritual forces at play, why you're drawn to this person like a moth to a flame, and how these connections are designed to elevate you both, even when they're not easy. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's unravel this beautiful chaos together. Ready to see why your soul said yes to this journey? Let's go. Have you ever felt someone's energy so deeply it was like they were living in your head, rent-free? Except instead of furniture, they're moving around all your emotions? That's the level of intensity we're talking about here. It's as if your very presence affects them in ways they can't explain, and their energy shakes up your world just as much. Here's where it gets interesting. That energy you bring, the one that feels magnetic, maybe even overwhelming, is often perceived as a weakness by the other person. Why? It's because it's raw, it's real, and it's unfiltered. It's like holding up a bright light that makes all the shadows visible. And let's be real, who likes their shadows exposed? But here's the twist. What seems like a weakness is actually a gift. This energy creates a space for both of you to grow, to elevate beyond the surface level, and to explore parts of yourselves you might have avoided. The trick? It takes self-control. A lot of it. Both of you are learning to balance the pull of this connection while keeping it aligned with a higher vibration. It's like walking a tightrope, exhilarating, but you know one misstep could send you spiraling. The beauty is, both of you feel the gravity of what's happening. It's not just a connection, it's a calling. You're aware of its transformative potential, even if it scares you. Deep down, you both know this bond isn't here to break you. It's here to build you into something stronger, wiser, and more expansive. And that, my friend, is the real power of this energy. It's not about one person fixing the other or being a crutch. It's about showing each other the heights you're capable of reaching, together and individually. Imagine being pulled in two completely opposite directions at the same time. On one hand, there's your higher self, the version of you that's full of love, wisdom, and a deep desire to grow. On the other hand, there's this darker, repressed part of you, the side you've hidden away, the one that whispers doubts and fears when you're trying to rise above it all. Now, imagine someone comes along who sees both sides of you clearly. That's the kind of vulnerability we're talking about. This struggle isn't just internal. It shows up in the connection, too. The person might pull away, trying to escape the intensity of what they're feeling. And here's the kicker. The moment separation happens, it doesn't ease the tension. It amplifies it. It's as if the distance creates a magnifying glass for every repressed emotion, every fear, and every unresolved emotional scar. Suddenly, The feelings they tried to avoid become unavoidable. Now, let's talk about the mirror. This is where things get both beautiful and uncomfortable. One partner serves as a reflection, showing the other exactly what they need to heal, and it's not always pretty. This mirror doesn't just highlight the strengths, the love, and the light. It also brings up the pain, the insecurities, and the parts they've buried. But here's the silver lining. The reflection isn't just about revealing wounds. It's about offering a chance to heal them. It's like saying, look, this is what's been holding you back. But I'm here to remind you of the strength you already have to move through it. This duality, the higher self calling you forward and the darker energy pulling you back, is where transformation happens. It's messy, raw, and sometimes even painful, but it's also the kind of growth that creates unshakable depth. In this connection, vulnerability isn't a weakness. It's the doorway to becoming your most authentic, whole self. Let's be real. Being triggered doesn't feel great. It's uncomfortable, messy, and sometimes it feels like the other person is pressing all the buttons you didn't even know you had. But here's the surprising part. Those triggers are actually invitations. They're opportunities to pause, look inward, and ask, why is this bothering me so much? What part of me needs healing here? In this connection, triggering moments aren't just random. They're like little cosmic nudges, pointing out areas that need attention. For example, one person might react strongly to a feeling of abandonment when the other pulls away. Instead of staying stuck in the pain, they're encouraged to ask themselves, is this about them? Or is this about something I've carried for years? And sometimes, they don't figure it all out on their own. Let's face it, navigating these kinds of emotions can feel like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube in the dark. That's where guidance comes in. Whether it's a trusted friend, a therapist, or even a mentor, the individual reaches out for advice. They want to understand the intensity of what they're feeling and learn how to respond instead of react. It's not about venting or complaining. It's about gaining perspective and wisdom to handle the connection with grace. But the real magic happens in how these challenges are faced. Both people in the connection begin to see the obstacles not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones. Every argument, every moment of tension, becomes a chance to rise above their old patterns and step into something new. One might take accountability for their own insecurities, while the other learns to communicate with more openness and honesty. It's not a one-sided effort either. Both parties are growing, evolving, and showing up in ways they never thought possible. Sure, it's hard work. But with every challenge, they're not just building a deeper connection with each other, they're building a stronger, more authentic connection with themselves. This growth isn't always glamorous, but it's empowering. It's the kind of growth that says, I see you, I see myself, and I'm willing to do the work to honor both. Because at the end of the day, this connection isn't just about love, it's about transformation. Let's talk about communication. It's one of those things that can make or break any connection. In this bond, it's not about pouring your heart out in a flood of emotions or trying to get the other person to fix how you feel. Instead, it's about finding a balance, speaking your truth with calmness and confidence. Imagine saying, this is what I'm feeling, not with desperation, but with clarity. It's not about needing validation or reassurance. It's about sharing because it feels right, not because it feels necessary. But here's the twist. This kind of non-needy communication is a learning curve. One partner might lean naturally toward emotional expression, while the other prefers logic and structure. And you know what? That's okay. In fact, it's part of what makes this connection so rich. While one person practices softening their words and owning their feelings, the other works on stepping out of their head and into their heart. The logical approach can look like pausing before reacting. Instead of letting emotions run the show, one partner takes a step back, observes what's happening, and asks themselves, is this reaction coming from my higher self, or is it my ego talking? They're not detaching from the connection. They're trying to keep it grounded, to avoid letting impulse cloud their judgment. But here's the deeper layer. As much as they try to navigate things logically, both partners are coming to a powerful realization. This connection isn't just happening at the surface. It's not just about the words exchanged or even the emotions felt. It's soul level. It's in the way they mirror each other, both the light and the shadows. It's in the moments where one partner's vulnerability calls the other to step up. It's in the unspoken recognition that the love they're building isn't ordinary, it's transformative. This growing awareness isn't always easy. Looking in the mirror and seeing your own flaws reflected back can be uncomfortable, even painful. But it's also liberating. Because with every conversation, every emotional expression, and every attempt to navigate things more thoughtfully, they're stepping closer to who they're truly meant to be, not just as individuals, but as reflections of one another's growth and potential. In this connection, patterns aren't just repeated, they're rewritten. Emotions aren't just felt, they're understood. And through it all, both partners are learning that love, at its core, is about being seen, heard, and accepted for all that you are, without needing to be anything more. Sometimes, the most profound growth happens in the quiet spaces, when two people intentionally take a step back from the intensity of their connection. It's not about running away or shutting the door, it's about creating room to breathe, to reflect, and to heal. Separation here isn't an ending. It's a pause, a chance for both individuals to look inward and work through the layers of their own journey. Time apart becomes a sacred period for integration. Imagine planting a seed in the soil. You don't stand over it, demanding it to sprout. You let it rest, trusting that it will grow in its own time. That's what this separation feels like. Both partners are given the opportunity to take everything they've learned from their shared experiences, those moments of love, challenge, and self-discovery, and let it sink in, rooting deeply within their souls. But here's the beautiful part. Even in their time apart, the connection doesn't disappear. It transforms. It becomes a shared healing journey, almost like they're walking parallel paths, still tethered by something greater than themselves. When one person finds clarity, the other feels the ripple. When one releases an old wound, the energy shifts for both of them. It's as if their souls are working together behind the scenes, helping each other evolve in ways they may not even fully comprehend. And healing? It's not linear. During this separation, past wounds have a way of rising to the surface. Old rejections, heartbreaks, and fears, the kind that have been buried for years, suddenly demand attention. But rather than being something to fear, this is an opportunity. The connection acts like a magnifying glass, shining a light on the areas that need love and care. Both individuals are learning to sit with their repressed energy, to feel it without being consumed by it. They're discovering that healing isn't about erasing the pain, it's about honoring it, releasing it, and making space for something new. They're becoming alchemists, turning the heaviness of their past into something lighter, something freer. In this process, they're not just healing themselves, they're healing each other. Every breakthrough, every moment of courage to face the shadows, becomes a gift to the other. It's a reminder that true connection doesn't always mean being physically together. Sometimes, the most profound love is shown by giving space for transformation, trusting that when the time is right, they'll come back stronger, more whole, and ready to embrace what's next. When two souls are deeply connected, the journey doesn't stop at healing. It evolves into a process of integration and elevation. Both partners begin to unite the fragmented parts of themselves, weaving together their higher and lower aspects into a harmonious whole. Imagine it like this. Their higher selves represent their potential, their wisdom, love, and alignment with their true purpose. Their lower selves hold the shadows, the fears, insecurities, and patterns shaped by past pain. This connection acts as a bridge, urging both individuals to face these opposing forces within themselves and bring them into balance. It's not about denying the shadows, but embracing them as part of their human experience. Through this connection, subconscious growth happens in ways they may not fully understand at first. Their thoughts begin to shift, old patterns start to unravel, and new ways of being emerge. For example, moments of self-doubt are met with newfound resilience. Where there was once reactivity, there's now a sense of calm. It's as if the connection is a mirror, gently and sometimes not so gently, reflecting back what needs attention and offering the tools to address it. This transformation isn't happening in isolation. Both individuals are deeply intertwined in this process, whether consciously or unconsciously. There's a profound co-creation of growth at play, almost like an unspoken agreement between their souls. They challenge each other in ways no one else can, pushing one another to grow in areas they might have avoided otherwise. At the same time, they inspire one another to rise higher. When one partner chooses courage, it sparks bravery in the other. When one steps into their authenticity, it encourages the other to do the same. This dynamic becomes a dance, sometimes messy, sometimes graceful, but always moving toward a shared elevation. And the beauty of this integration process is that it's not just about the relationship itself. It's about how each person is becoming more whole within themselves. They're learning to stand tall in their individuality while still deeply honoring the connection they share. This is soul work at its finest, a partnership that isn't just about love but about transformation, self-discovery, and mutual empowerment. In the end, the connection becomes a sacred space where both individuals can ascend to new heights, not despite their imperfections but because of their willingness to embrace them. It's a reminder that true elevation isn't about escaping the challenges, but about using them as stepping stones to something greater. It's impossible to capture the full depth of this connection in a single moment or even through years of introspection. This relationship is a living, evolving story, layered, nuanced, and often defying explanation. Both partners find themselves in uncharted territory where the usual rules of relationships don't apply. Let's be real. What they initially thought this connection would be like is far from the reality they're experiencing. Maybe they imagined a seamless, fairy tale-like bond where everything fell into place effortlessly. Instead, they've encountered challenges that have shaken their foundations, forced them to confront their deepest fears, and rewritten what they thought they knew about love and connection. And yet, these challenges feel like a part of something much bigger than themselves. There's an unshakable sense that this relationship serves a higher purpose, one that's not entirely clear yet but is undeniably present. It's as if their souls have signed up for a mission together, one that's not just about their personal growth but about contributing something transformative to the world around them. This connection seems to act as a vessel for spiritual energy, grounding it into the physical realm. Their struggles, their growth, their love, it all becomes a ripple that extends outward, influencing the people and environments they touch. The highs and lows aren't just personal experiences, they're part of a larger cosmic design. Acknowledging the full story means embracing the mystery. It means understanding that not every question will have an answer right now and that some aspects of this connection might never fully make sense. And that's okay. What matters is the willingness to stay open, to continue learning, growing, and showing up for both the relationship and themselves. By stepping into this awareness, both individuals honor the complexity and beauty of their journey. They recognize that while the story may not yet be complete, every chapter holds meaning, and perhaps, in ways they can't yet see, this connection is preparing them for something far greater than they ever imagined. As this love story unfolds, one thing becomes clear. Even the most challenging connections carry profound meaning. They push us to grow, to heal, and to rise into the best versions of ourselves. And while it may not always be easy, it's in those moments of difficulty that transformation takes root. If you're navigating a connection like this, or even reflecting on your own growth through other relationships, know that every twist and turn has a purpose. The moments that feel confusing or overwhelming, they're the very moments shaping you, sharpening your understanding, and strengthening your spirit. Take a moment to consider, how have the people in your life mirrored your own journey? What lessons have they brought to the surface? And most importantly, how are you allowing those lessons to transform you? There's so much courage and vulnerability. To love, to heal, to truly see and be seen, it requires a strength that's often underestimated. But it's also that very strength that carries you through, inspiring others around you in ways you may not even realize. Remember, this journey is yours. Every challenge, every breakthrough, and every ounce of love exchanged is part of your story. A story that's unfolding with purpose and beauty, even when it feels messy or uncertain. So embrace the transformation. Trust the process. And never forget, there's incredible power in the love and vulnerability you bring to the world. You're already inspiring others, just by being you. Thank you for sharing this sacred moment with me. Reaching the end of this video speaks volumes about you. You're someone who believes in divine guidance, faith, and the beauty of trusting the journey. You're truly incredible, and I'm honored to have spent this time with you. If this message resonated with you, I'd be so grateful if you could like, share, and subscribe. Together, we're creating a space of love, faith, and transformation. If you feel called to support the channel further, I'd be deeply thankful. You can find a link to my Ko-fi page in the description. Your generosity allows me to continue sharing these messages of love and light with you. Before you go, take a moment to affirm. I am worthy of love, growth, and healing, and every connection in my life serves my highest good. Drop this affirmation in the comments below and claim it as your truth. Each time you speak these words, you align with the universe's perfect flow. And always remember, you are loved, you are divinely supported, and you are never alone on this journey. Keep trusting in the process, knowing everything is unfolding perfectly for you. The world is a better place because of you. Keep letting your divine light shine bright.